Among the 4 yugas, the Satya, the Treta, the Dwapara and the Kali Yuga is considered to be the most difficult one for a spiritual sadhaka. However, it can also turn out to be the easiest one because it is said that for Kali Yuga, Namasmarana is sufficient sadhana. Sai Ram. Namasmarana, the constant contemplation and chanting of the Lord's name. All the 3 C's are important in that. Constant, contemplation and chanting.
Swami would often regale us with a beautiful story of the Shri Krishna Tulabharam from the Bhagavata Purana. As we all know, it is the story where the Lord had to be balanced with all the wealth and the gold in the country. On one side was Lord Krishna, and on the other side they kept piling and piling, but to of no avail. Ultimately, Mother Rukmini just plucks a little leaf of tulsi, chants the name of the Lord with all her heart, and places it, and lo and behold, the scales balance. Swami would say that is the power of the name of the Lord. But in the Kali Yuga, Swami goes a step further. We all love the mango, isn't it? It's one of our favorite fruits. All we need to do is just say mango, and the most golden, beautiful mango appears in all its glory in front of our eyes. The moment the mango comes into our hand, now suddenly our eyes and our mind start to examine and analyze the mango, whether the mango has worms, whether the mango is rotten, whether it's going to be sweet. Oh my God, the mind gets into a examining mode. While the name of the mango brought to us all the glory, the actual form of the mango made us examine. In the Kali Yuga, because this mind all the time analyzes and examines the form, Swami says the name is more important than the form.
Shambho Shankara, Shiva Shambho Shankara.
It was the year 1974, 1 year after the inauguration of the Shivam Mandir in Hyderabad. Bhagwan had taken along with him a few devotees from Prashantinilayam. In his entourage was also Professor Nanjundaya, who was then a lecturer in Swami's college. When they arrived at Shivam, they saw that there were so many ministers, VIPs, businessmen, all who had lined up to see Bhagwan. But Bhagwan took the members of his entourage all around Shivam, showed them different places and was hosting them. All this made Professor Nanjundaya get very overwhelmed. The next day morning, all the members of Swami's entourage lined up at Bhagwan's room waiting for him to come out. At that time, Sri Kamavadhani Garu, the great Vedic scholar who was also part of the entourage, was chanting the Rudram. And he said that when the Abhishekam happens to the idol, Rudram must be chanted. Swami must be taking bath now, and that's why I am chanting these Vedas. Witnessing this, Professor Nanjundaya had a thought. He felt that I am very unfortunate because I don't know any of these Vedas. I can't chant all this. I am very unlucky. As soon as Swami came out, he turned to Kamavadhani Garu and asked him, Kamavadhani, in order to get moksha, is it necessary to have Vedic knowledge? Kamavadhani Garu folded his hands, shook his head to say no and said, Swami, all this is not necessary at all. Namasmaranam dhanyopayam. Meaning, chanting of the Lord's name, Namasmarana, is the greatest blessing. That is enough. Then Swami looked meaningfully at Professor Nanjundaya and nodded as if to ask, did you understand? Namasmarana is sufficient to get moksha.
Call to the Lord by any name and he shall respond. There is a beautiful incident which brings out this. Many years ago, a very senior Sai devotee had been to a Broadway show in New York, and it was the last show of the day, and during the interval, she went to the restroom. As she walks into the restroom, she finds a janitor sweeping the floor. And as she was washing her hands, the janitor accosts her, asking her, "Are you an Indian?" To which she said yes. And the janitor says, "You must be having some white ash in your purse." When she heard about the white ash, Mrs. Geeta Mohan Ram was dumbstruck. In fact, there was a little piece of paper in which wrapped was Swami's materialized vibhuti on her previous trip to Prashanti Nilayam. But she wondered, how did this lady get to know that there was actually vibhuti in her purse? And then this janitor lady tells her story. She has a son, her only son, and there's nobody else in her life. And he was suffering from a deadly kidney disease. One night in utter desperation, she calls out, "Oh Jesus, oh Christ, is there someone who will listen and pay heed to my plight?" That night, she gets a dream. And guess who is in the dream? Our beloved Swami comes and says, "My child, don't worry. On such and such a day, in your workplace, a lady wearing an Indian dress will walk. Ask her for some white ash. That ash will cure your son." Needless to say, Mrs. Geeta Mohan Ram readily gave her the materialized vibhuti of Swami. A few months later, she had quite forgotten about this whole incident. She had come to Prashanti Nilayam and Swami had granted her an interview. And in the interview, Swami reveals, saying, that boy with the kidney problem is now doing fine.
Swami says that the name of the Lord on our tongue is like a lamp that is kept on the threshold of a door. It brings illumination inside the house as well as outside the house. In a similar manner, Namasmarana brings illumination within and also spreads the light everywhere outside to the world. Let us engage in this Kali Yuga sadhana of Namasmarana. Let there be love and light everywhere in this world. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.